All right, so we're here in module number 6. We're really going to talk deeply about how you should be nurturing your email list. I'm talking about creating emails and events for maximum profits. The human element of email is heavily explained in this module, giving you the eye-opening understanding of how you should be approaching your email marketing, especially if it's your core of your business. We talk about 4 methods: the cookie system for nurturing the lead, the Seinfeld experience for writing it, and then leveraging 3 E's for conversions, and how you should be using events for marketing. If you combine all 4 of these together, you're going to create emails that are designed for maximum profits. All right, so let's start talking about the cookie system first, okay? What is the cookie system? The cookie system is a valuable piece of information. A cookie, doing a favor for your subscriber by giving them free content. That means you're giving them a cookie and asking them for your favor or a lead or sale, taking a cookie away. Think about it this way. Every time I try to promote to my list or give them something to buy from me, I'm taking a cookie away from them, or value. That means that I need to make sure that I'm giving them one back to replace the one I took away from them, aka giving them value, right? So if you think about it with your hands out, pretty simple. It's all about your left hand is sitting there taking, giving cookies, and the right hand is taking cookies. So the cookie system takes the whole idea and approach when you're a little kid. When you're a little kid and your mother gives you a cookie, you're more likely to do the chore. You're more likely to take an action on what she or he is asking you to do, right? Your parents, right? So what you're thinking about is very simple. You can do that with your subscribers, but with virtual cookies. With virtual cookies could be free content, free book, a vlog, something to download, some upgrade, or whatever it may be. At the same time, whenever you're telling them about something they can buy or something they can control or whatever it may be, you're taking that cookie away from them. And of course, when you take that cookie, it's important to do it. So a cookie system in action is very simple. Now, this is not in a workflow. This is just a simple day 1, day 2 thing, but I'm just showing you an example of how it really works, and then we'll talk about why it works, okay? So you offer them a cookie like an opt-in or a free book, then you remind them of that free book, so you're giving them another cookie. Then you introduce them to your blog. That means you're giving them another cookie because you're giving them content. So at this point, 1, 2, 3 cookies you've given them. Then on day 3, you say, hey, maybe I'll give you another content, something that's loaded, something that I'm pre-selling them at the same time, but you can still give a cookie while pre-selling. So on day 3, you're actually giving another cookie. Now you're sitting on 4 cookies. Now it's time to take these cookies away. Day 4, you're going to promote a product or service that you think that you should do. Now you're starting to take that cookie away. Day 5, you take another cookie by promoting another service, and so forth. Your goal is to always make sure that your subscribers are left with cookies. So what I like to do when I think about this is it's almost like science. You're always +1, -1. Every time you plus, you want to make sure they're always in the positive section. So why does the cookie system work, okay? Cookie system provides free stuff. It provides content, trainings, articles, vlogs, blogs, anything that you're doing. It allows you to build trust. When you give them free stuff, it builds trust. Your subscriber decides to stick with you because you provide them tremendous value, and it's going to help you make sales because they've earned your trust and they're more likely to pull out their wallet. The cookie system is very simple. With the idea of a +1 and a -1, it's very easy to make sure that your marketing is planned out where you're maximizing both your value and taking value away from them at the same time by taking money from them or asking them for money, right? So that leads us right into the Seinfeld experience. We're talking about writing that email, what Seinfeld has to do. So now Seinfeld was a show about nothing, but it taught a lesson, left the audience satisfied and hungry, wanting for more. These elements of the show tie in how your emails are written and how it's explained to your readers. Now think about it like this, okay? And we're going to talk about the 3 E's in a second. When you're writing an email, it's important you teach your readers what they're talking about using the 3 E's, which we'll talk about next, but it's also important to relate to them in a way it's practical and builds a connection. So let's go ahead and look at this example. It's one of my favorite examples to talk about because it's pretty simple. Hey, it's Jimmy, and I have a brand new product to show you. It's called Email Tools. Email Tools will create timer surveys, videos, and personalized images for your emails. Go check it out right here. Thanks, Jimmy. That's an email. You've probably seen emails like this from people. Super simple and easy. Now let's use the Seinfeld experience and add a story element to it. By the way, that's all we're really doing. Hey, it's Jimmy, and as you know, I've been an email marketer for the last 8 years. And those last 8 years, I've been watching email evolve. I've simply seen things that happen that have been quite exciting. When I first started email marketing business, or when I first started my email business, it was really easy to send emails. Everyone opened those emails and clicked and made sales. But fast forward to 2016, I I've been having issues with people actually engaging and clicking on my emails. So I ran into my friend and he started to show me a brand new app he called Email Tools that helped anyone create highly engaging emails to help people get clicks. Now you see what I did there. The difference is, one, I explained what it is and how it works and why they want it. The second one, I talked about it, built the story up, explained the credibility, talked to him about the problem, and then started to introduce the solution. You see, the message is very different when it comes down to having that one. So what the whole point is very simple. It tells a story, leaving the reader to want more, because it builds relationships. Email marketing is a leading channel of customer retention. So remember that. When you share a human experience and make a connection with your readers, it creates a rapport building story, and it allows you to communicate and connect with that audience. Not to mention, don't forget to use the PS in your email as well to get them wanting more. Telling a story is one of the most powerful ways to communicate and work with a person. And now that leads us right into the 3 E's of perfect email. Now that you understand how an email should be structured as far as taking or giving value away, and you understand the story element of it, let's talk about the 3 E's of writing that perfect email, as it's really important, right? So what are the 3 E's? The first thing is excite, the subject line, the first line of your message. Number 2 is education, the body of your email. And 3, the edify, which is to the call to action, or get them to click on that, right? So let's talk about the first one. Excite. Create a subject line that packs a punch. 30% of people open emails based on that subject line alone. So creating more than one headline and choose from that, that's more enticing. So sometimes I like to write out different subject lines to really get an idea. Personalization is very huge when it comes to that email subject line. And 3, trying to explain the problem, hit them with the pain point and know exactly what you're doing. Now this is super important. We talked about the segmentation and tagging, which we'll talk about in module number 8. When you're thinking about segmentation and tagging, this is where it gets really important, where you can really pinpoint the subject information that you're going for. Now, remember, when you're creating your subject line, make sure it's getting the people's attention and you're able to still deliver the promise that you delivered in the body of the email. So here you've got 2 attentions, one for myself. How to make 20 visitors turn into 100 or 100 into 500. That's enticing. Well, how am I going to make those subscribers turn like that? Or here's one from Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad. Reject passivity. Choose to take action or regret it. Free event access to my event. Suddenly I'm thinking, wow, this is hitting me exactly what I'm thinking about right now, where I am afraid to take action. Plus it's giving me a ticket to something. So you're over delivering right on that subject line. Very, very simple on how powerful it is. Now, education is the next part of this. Education provides reader with solid information to introduce the problem and share the solution. How to do X. What does X do? Why should you do X? Keeping things short, engaging the readers with the questions, adding a personal touch to your emails, and writing your emails in second person. This is all important because you're really explaining and teaching the person exactly why they want to continue listening from you. Remember, this is very important. This is where the Seinfeld experience comes into play, because if you can educate them through story, there's no more powerful way to grow rapport, trust, and of course get the person to take action. Last but not least is edifying. Edifying is making the readers click. Okay, now let me first tell you one thing, something that people get confused about. Emails with a single call to action increase clicks by 370% and sales by 1617% compared to emails with multiple calls to actions. Now, I talk about the stat because not the fact that you don't want to put more than one link. When I say multiple links, I'm talking about multiple destinations, not multiple links. You should always have multiple links. You should have your first link above the fold, right on the top. The first thing they see on the email within the first few lines is a call to action to click on something, and it continues to drive through the email. But you shouldn't be sending them to multiple pages. It just doesn't work as well, right? Now, remember when you're asking for the person to click, here's a couple great examples. One, use a first person phrasing. It means, hey, click here to take action, whatever it may be, learn more here, whatever it may be. Use HTML-based anchor text rather than flashy buttons. Buttons don't work. A lot of times people overlook them. They should be using like, hey, click here, and make sure you highlight him and bold him, whatever you need to do. And if you do go to a button route and you decide that you want to use a button in your email because you have a brand, then you want to add arrows, you want to highlight it, do something that really makes it stand out. Now, the last part of engagement and creating those engagements and best practices for nurturing and converting is my absolute favorite. We call it events-based marketing, okay? Now, think about an event. There's something you lead up to it. So you buy a ticket, for example, if you're going to a concert. And then there's something like an introduction where, for example, if you're at a concert, the band greets the audience, builds up the show, what you're going to do, how exciting it's going to be, and so forth. Then there's the middle where the band actually performs, which is really awesome. Usually the meat and potatoes, the content, and then there's the end when the show comes to end, right? And now when you think about that, I want you to think about something really simple, right? What you're looking for is very simple. You want to create a reason for a person to want to continue to engage and open that email. And what that really requires sometimes is really being able to communicate with them by hitting them on a certain time, getting them warmed up, getting their mindset set up. So on the screen here, I've got a sample 7-day sequence that you could be doing, or you could do it in different ways. And it's all up to how you want to do it. Now, this sequence is built up in more of an affiliate side, thinking about how you would promote as an affiliate, but you can change this based on if you have a SaaS, e-commerce store, whatever you may want to do. You just want to build up that sequence. It doesn't have to be 7 days. It can be 5 days, 3 days. Remember, as a professional, if you're in email marketing as a professional, you're setting your schedule and knowing exactly what you're going to do. So here in this sample, day 1, I'm going to pre-build it up. Now, this is going to be defined as cookie type stuff, right? You're giving them value here. You're going to tell them about the problem, but you're not going to tell them that in a direct problem. You're going to tell them as what is the actual part that addressed the problem. If I'm going to be talking about Facebook Messenger bots, for example, I'm going to be talking about Facebook and why it's so powerful and why you should be using it. Pre-build up. Introduction 2 is going to be day 2 is going to be, okay, let's talk about the cookie or the bots, right? Let's talk about the messenger bots and talk about how it's so powerful and introduce that to them, right? And then talk about a call to action of how they can get a part of it. Day 3, you're going to refresh them with something else. Now, this is going to be a hybrid where you're taking a cookie and you're changing it. You're going to show them some great stats, some great marketing, some great metrics, something that refreshes their mind on it. Then day 4, you're going to hit them with a completely different angle, okay? Add a variable, what it is, what's special about it, why you should be doing it. Day 5 can be, you can promote with a difference. You can do content marketing where you're writing a great article explaining more and more in detail about it, instead of it maybe a vlog and so forth. Day 6, you can share some content, or you can start alerting them that it is the last day. And then day 7, you have the scarcity. Now, this is not right or wrong. You can do it any way you want. The idea is very simple. If you're actually setting up a start, middle, and end to each and every email sequence, you just get better fluidity. So what does this mean for sales, right? That's the number one thing you're thinking about. Well, it means very simple. The days that you're making the most sales are always going to be the first day you introduce it, and then the last 2 days you're going to be making sales. So we always say that days 1 through 5 versus days 6 and 7, you're going to almost see a 50% division of sales between the two. Marketers who send out the first email without seeing those results, a lot of people panic because they don't see those results as soon as they send those emails, and they give up. The reality is sometimes it takes a couple emails to get person through the warm-up process. And most marketers find that the majority of sales are on the last day. I don't want you to freak out about that, because that's just what happens, because people go through a buying cycle. People forget that on email marketing, that the buying cycle is not any different than the real world. In the real world, people take multiple touches. You go to buy a car, you don't most likely go and buy a car the first time. You've researched it, you've gone to the dealership, you've test driven it, you've looked at it, you've talked to them, you've communicated voice on price and your payments and so forth before you make that purchase. No different with email marketing. With events, email marketing is allowing you to go through that full journey with them and carrying them through that. All right? So there we have those 4 methods. Everything I've talked about here today in Module 6 is about nurturing and converting those emails. Obviously, there's a lot deeper thought process in each and every level, but I wanted to make sure I touched base on all of these, because the 4 methods I taught, the cookie system, the Seinfeld experience, leveraging the 3 E's, and how you can use events for marketing are very important for your marketing, especially if you're trying to inbox with Gmail. This is explaining the human element of email and making sure to give you that eye-opening understanding of how you should approach email for your email marketing, and making sure it's your core of your business. Now, the next couple modules we have coming up are really deep modules about list exhaustion, cleaning, and so forth. So we'll see you on the next module. Talk to you soon.